Stoked to have you here for our viewers, our 50 viewers sometimes, that
60, dude.
60.
We're at 60 subs.
Yeah, so for our viewers, if you're looking and you're asking yourself, who is this handsome gentleman that is now on the Stack Show? His name's Adam. He's the founder of Manna Bitcoin, two times founder, actually, was founder of Hands Free Bitcoin as well. Overall, great dude. Most importantly, follower of Christ. And yeah, we're just really happy to have you on, man. So we're going to get right into it. And I think we're going to start off today listening to some voice memos, which is something that we've recently started last week. We had one really, really funny one from Mark. Was it Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we invited people to leave us a DM on our X account, and they're coming in. I mean, I've got three that I'm gonna play. You want to hear these? Here's the first one.
Let's do it.
Probably know I stack anywhere from 10.
Hold on.
Hey guys, it's Michael. I watch the Stack Show weekly, and as you guys probably know, I stack anywhere from 10 million to $2 billion of Bitcoin. Coming up in December, I'm having another party on my yacht in Miami, of course, and would love you two to join. There will be some entertainment, some Instagals, and I'll be talking about the first best asset like usual. Hope you can join. Ciao.
Ciao.
I have no idea who that is.
Who could that be?
His voice sounded familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, you
I
guys know
mean,
anyone named Michael
I
that
I don't
mean,
know, but
Mike,
he's
it's
buying
Bitcoin?
a lot
one
of
of the most.
Bitcoin. That's amazing.
That's a ton.
Yeah, dude's buying a ton of Bitcoin. All right, let's see. We got another one from someone named Harriet Wood, and their handle is the Harry Wood, which I'm just seeing for the first time. All right, here it is.
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. I pushed the button. My, you boys are so handsome. I don't know much about Bitcoins, but I'll take two of whatever you're having. The one with the mustache reminds me of my first husband. One time, he tickled my ear with his mustache as he whispered about ending central banking after we snuck away at a Ron Paul convention. The way you boys talk about civil disobedience and sovereignty makes my legs quiver.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. I
Harriet.
mean,
Thank you,
you
Harriet.
never, yeah, thanks, Harry Wood. You never know who's gonna leave you these comments. I mean, this last one, I thought this is somebody who watches who needs some help. They need some help from the Stack Show. This is
So maybe we can
Ladarius.
get some advice to this person. They're asking.
It's Demetrius Johnson. All right, so check it. I've been thinking about my crypto game a little bit. I got a little stack of Bitcoin. Y'all feel me? Just a little stack. But then my boy, he always got this T on these money moves. He hit me up and said, talking about XRP about to blow up. He swear going, what he said, hit grand, get 1 gram, maybe 2 grand. I ain't talking about no play button either, boy. That's good money. So I'm over here. What am I supposed to do? All right, what am I supposed to do? Well, should I hold my stack or dip in some of that XRP Ripple stuff? Because if my dog right, I could be sitting on a gold mine, y'all feel me? But if not, I might be missing out on the Bitcoin wave. Hey, it's a tough call, but I trust my boy. So I might just take a chance. It'll play out. I just want to ask y'all what you think. I didn't do nothing yet, so I'm gonna be chilling on it for now to hear what y'all got to say. All right. Hey yo.
All right, he's waiting. He's waiting. What's your advice for
Oh
Demetrius?
boy, Demetrius or is it Ladarius? It was
Oh
Demetrius.
shoot, I didn't catch it.
Man,
Yeah, what's
Adam, what do you think, brother?
I think the solution here is just to simply be Bitcoin only. I don't think wasting time with other potentially questionable projects is worth the endeavor. That's my short answer.
So you wouldn't advise someone invest in a token that's 100% pre-mined, printed out of thin air, and the creator is constantly selling millions of dollars of it?
Well, let me answer it this way. I think
Yeah,
I think
that's good. Yeah.
I think something like this can really change your life, unless you're already poor,
Yeah.
and then it's probably not going to change your life very much.
Fastest way to become a millionaire, I guess, is to be a multi-billionaire and then invest into XRP. But you're actually probably going to no money eventually.
Yeah, yeah, don't mess with that stuff.
All
Yeah,
right,
the
good deal.
Darius. I don't know. Just say, brother, thanks for the voice, or Demetrius, thanks for the voice memo, and keep calling in and asking the questions. But don't buy the XRP Ripple stuff. It's not worth it. You're just gonna get burned. And I would even say, your boy that's trying to tell you this, you gotta maybe rethink that relationship. Maybe he's just kind of retarded and he saw some stuff and he thinks it's gonna go, to the moon, quote unquote. But that is a recipe for disaster, my friend. So steer clear.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Yeah, keep sending in the voice DMs. We'll read them.
Love it.
And as you can see, we'll read anything. There is no limit to what we will read.
Literally anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another point of advice I'd give there is anybody interested in buying XRP, I would recommend buying the same amount that Ripple does.
Oh, that would be zero.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be zero.
I see what you did there. That's good. Well, what do you think, guys? So Bitcoin had a great day yesterday and then gave it all back today. We're at 117.8.
Yeah. I
I feel
mean,
like it's a good time to stack some sats.
let's stack some sats, and then let's talk about everything that's going down. What do you think?
All
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, what was it? Was it Scott Bessent saying that there's not going to be a Bitcoin purchased by the US government? I think that's probably what it was.
That's the main thing. And we had the Google news as well, but yeah, there's a couple of things to unpack, I think. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and then
I'm gonna stack some sats today with River.
all
Uh,
right, I'm going to use strike.
I'm gonna use, just to be contrarian here, I'll use the Bitcoin well.
love it.
All right,
I'm gonna stack $21.
same.
Ooh, that's a good one. I was thinking about doing a different number, but that's a good number. I like that.
21 all
I,
around.
Whatever you want, man. It's up to you. All
this is
right.
no, I think that's perfect. I always like this part of this show because um especially Phil's reaction here, because you can always just see this like grimace in his face. Like you can
Gross.
just see how short fiat he is. It's just
Yeah.
wonderful and beautiful. Like it's amazing.
Yeah,
And I'm in
Greer's
the
always
same
like,
boat, by the way.
thank you. Greer's always, I'm gonna stack a couple hundred. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do five.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. Uh,
Oh man, it's all coming from Facebook Marketplace.
All right, man, we're
All the
stacked.
stuff I'm selling there.
We are stacked.
Nice, dude.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
That is the whole point. It's like if you're gonna watch this show, then you've got to buy a little bit of Bitcoin with us because the goal is to end the show with more Bitcoin than you had when you started. That's what it's all about.
yeah, absolutely. So, Adam, you had kind of an eventful day yesterday. Tell us about Google and Manna Bitcoin and what happened there.
yeah, it was quite a day. So I read that, I mean, there was an article floating around about a new Google policy. There we go.
Let's go.
Got my
Nice.
buy-in. Um, New Google policy regarding uh, their their rules around wallets. So software wallets. They're calling them cryptocurrency software wallets. And the short story is they were basically banning self-custodial wallets. Now, they didn't word it that way. They said, they gave out a list of territories or regions and the requirements that you would have to have in order to be listed in the Google Play Store. And for example, in the United States, you had to be FinCEN registered as a money services business. And taking that a step further, that just basically means you have to track every single user and every single transaction and report that to the government. And that's obviously not something that can be done on a self-custodial wallet. So the conclusion there is they were banning self-custodial Bitcoin wallets. And so I saw this article and I'm like, well, that really sucks. So I hop over into the Google Play Store just to like, I don't know, something made me want to check to make sure Mana was still there. And lo and behold, it was gone. Just wiped. Just poof.
Instantly.
Yeah.
So I wonder how long that article came out before the policy was instituted, because it seemed
Well,
like they were close.
so here's the timeline. I apologize. I don't have the exact dates. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Google made the announcement and nobody really caught it until this article started floating around. This article, obviously, so this was Lola Leitz. She wrote the article for, I think it was called The Rage or something
Great.
like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Her publication, she started not too long ago, I don't think.
Yeah. Anyway, great article.
Yeah.
Um, the it didn't actually go into effect. So on the Google side, their policy has not gone into effect yet. It was their first. They just made the announcement a few weeks ago, basically telling everybody to get compliant, and that it hasn't gone into effect. So again, it's kind of weird. I can't say for sure that the removal or delisting of the Mana self-custodial wallet had anything to do with it, but the timing was very coincidental. Also happened to coincide with my complaint to them and a really quick response and them getting Mana listed back on to the Google Play Store. So long story short, they did relist the app and it's in the Google Play Store again. But of course, it has nothing to do with their, quote unquote ban on self-custodial wallets. So
Mm,
just
okay.
just coincidence.
What a
Yeah.
what up and down that must have been for you, just the whirlwind of going through that. Do you think that, I mean, just get this is coming off like the samurai stuff, right? And there's other things out there that keep popping up, and it feels like a coordinated attack on privacy of Bitcoin. So do you think that this was kind of a part of that coordinated attack, or was this just like people being stupid and making?
No, I think it was. I mean, that's my base case assumption. Uh, I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but in this case, there's just a lot lining up that really made it seem like it was more of a, let's see what we can get away with and see how people react to it. And if there's a problem, then we'll just basically say, oh, we made a mistake. We didn't mean what we said, and we're going to make the change, which is what they ended up doing. But yeah, that's what I kind of think this was. I think that uh, more or less they just wanted to kind of shift the Overton window in a certain direction, and they failed. They got a ton of backlash from the Bitcoin community, and as soon as this article started coming up and people started talking about it, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Alphabet Google stock crashed.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it was after hours trading, and their evening trading was just it plummeted, and that was right around the time when they came out and said, okay, well, they clarified, they gave the clarification message. This does not apply to self-custodial wallets, even though it did in their original language.
Mm.
Yeah, so another interesting thing is Bitcoin makes an all-time high yesterday, surpassing Google as the fifth most valuable asset. Google pulls the plug on Bitcoin self-custodial wallets, and I got to think some of the drop in the stock price could be the algorithmic side of it. All of that negative news getting sucked in, and not even people saying I'm selling Google, but the algorithm selling Google.
Yeah, the algo is just looking at sentiment across the board, aggregating
Exactly.
chatter on social media, and then making those decisions, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, F around, find out, dude.
Um,
Crazy.
Adam, I wanted to ask you, or just maybe if you could just expand for our viewers on like why this would be catastrophic for self-custody, for privacy in Bitcoin. Why is it so important?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you were saying a moment ago about the Samurai case and even the Tornado Cash case, which technically is more of an Ethereum type thing. But in terms of how we view these things, like from a legal perspective, it has a pretty big, they have pretty big ramifications of how we're able to, really freely interact with Bitcoin. And let me just start by saying none of this actually really matters when it gets down to the brass tacks. Like Bitcoin is going to TikTok next block no matter what. It's going to be open and available to anyone who wants to come and participate in this freedom technology. What we're talking about here, though, is closing the gates. So you're still going to be able to find a way around. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you've seen the meme of like the person who puts a fence across a
Oh
sidewalk
yeah.
Yeah.
and you can just
Mhm.
walk around it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's essentially what they're doing, right? That is regulation for Bitcoin. You cannot ban Bitcoin. You can only ban yourself from Bitcoin. But they can certainly slow it down. And one of the big I guess goals or ambitions of mine is to help get kind of the normal type people, the normies, the NPCs, give them, trick them into this self-custody, this privacy, this freedom technology. Like just give them something that works really well. And as a side effect, they're just going to happen to have more freedom and more privacy and all this stuff. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do with Manna is just build a really good payments app. Just happens to be Bitcoin, and it just happens to not use any banks that rely on the fiat system. And
Love it.
so the side effect is just, freedom. So the implications, I think, are, um, it's ultimately kind of not up to the government or Google or anybody whether or not we have access to these things because Bitcoin is an awesome technology that is always open to everybody, no matter where you are. You can, like Michael Saylor says, you can put 12 words in your head and you can go anywhere in the world. I
Mhm.
think he says, what's his saying? Bitcoin is a shining city in cyberspace, and you can go there when you understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that Sailorism. You know what, man? It's like what when you attack Bitcoin, it only makes it stronger and smarter, right? Because like it forces it to, correct in different ways. And I mean, it only really helps it, which is like the beautiful part about I feel like these globalists trying so hard to like cut off on-ramps, cut off like banking that we saw with Choke Point, self-custody, going after it in that capacity and just like failing over and over again, you know?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Trump, we're supposed to be doing so much winning right now. And I'm just a little dismayed to see everything happen with like the samurai guys and just like all this other kind of bullshit. So I don't know. Bitcoin at the end of the day doesn't need the government at all. It exists outside of it, And if I think where we were like 5 years ago to today, I mean, exponentially better and stronger as a network.
Yeah,
There
and
are,
think about the government not buying Bitcoin. Like, in my opinion, that's a good thing. That means that we can
I
stack
agree.
at lower prices, more people can buy it, more of it can be peer to peer. And, that's to me, that's the win right there. It's like, yeah, stay out of it. Busy yourself with crypto. The regular folks will take the Bitcoin. What were you going to say, Adam?
There were a couple good things that happened over the last few hours. In regarding the backlash and just kind of making a spectacle of what happens when you try to attack Bitcoin. The first is Google's obviously their stock tanked. It's recovered, I think, as far as I know for right now, but they got a rude awakening of what happens when you poke the honey badger, when you prod the cyber hornets, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah, you basically end up needing to bend the knee and you look like a fool.
Mhm.
On top of that, I don't know how this looked across, other different apps or services or anything like that, but Mana had a huge, huge uptick in new users yesterday. And
Yeah.
so Google basically just pushed a bunch of people to self-custody Bitcoin. And that's just
Whoops.
beautiful. Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Nice.
So that's all
Well,
I
that's
wanted to
good.
add.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So what do you guys think? Where are we going? So, today we puked, which is love to see it. I like buying cheaper sats. The picture that I had been thinking about was like we're going to move into the 130s, the 150s, but now I feel like that's all kind of been, not on the table, but just the momentum has been sucked out. And I feel like we might have, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks until the next news story hits that makes people excited about Bitcoin. I feel like the wind is out of the sails of it moving up, which I think is good. I want to buy more sats. I don't want this thing to escape
Yeah.
yet.
I actually have a little bit of a different perspective on I think what's driving a lot of the short term right now. And I'm just looking at like the liquidity able to come in and out. I think over the last few days, like the big pump that happened over the last week or so was when the CPI data came out, right?
Mhm.
And you know, s- they said the CPI, right? I mean,
Right.
it's all just nonsense anyway.
Fugazi.
But yeah, it's Fugazi.
It's a game.
Who's let's see.
Uh, a great movie, by the way. Um, yeah, so they came out with the CPI data. CPI data said that it was, came back lower than expected. And then the market took that as, basically a sign and the plausible deniability for the Fed. And so the Fed can just basically print and lower rates to infinity. And so that's, I think, where a lot of the initial liquidity came from over the last week or so. And then we had the PPI data released today,
Right.
and it just went the opposite direction.
Mhm.
And so I think those were just really two opposites of the same coin over the last few hours or so. I think that a lot of the liquidity came in with the news of the CPI data, which was good, quote unquote, and then the bad PPI number just reversed that same liquidity in this opposite direction. So I don't think that the Besant thing or the Google thing, I don't think those had as much of an impact on the immediate price today as just simply having more liquidity or less liquidity in the system due to what the market conditions are.
That's a really
Hmm.
interesting insight because uh yeah, I feel like oftentimes we always look for this like one particular news story that's responsible for, a price run up or a dump. And then it's just it's sort of like this retroactive way of like making sense out of the whole thing. But I mean, there's so much more that goes into it that you just illustrated. And I mean, that sounds pretty spot on to me.
So
Yeah,
I think
and I can see that too. Maybe it's the Bitcoin community looking at percent, and the market's not looking at percent as much.
maybe, yeah, I mean, it's certainly, part of it. I don't think, look, let's put it this way. I don't think that the people on the outside looking in were like n- they were going to buy Bitcoin and now they're not because Besant said the United States isn't going to buy Bitcoin or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
don't really care. In fact, they're probably happy that Besant's not said he's not going to buy Bitcoin, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, as a Bitcoiner, I'm actually kind of happy about that too. I think the longer we can go without the US buying Bitcoin, I think is a good thing, really. I mean, they're going to buy it eventually. Everybody's going to have to buy it eventually. But the longer we can stack here and the more freedom we can cultivate in the meantime, I think is ultimately a good thing. So the
100%.
silver lining to what I was saying though, with like the liquidity and everything, we're coming into a season where we're going to be low. The Fed is going to be lowering interest rates.
Mhm.
Printers are going to be running hot. A lot of that's going to slosh around and ultimately end up in Bitcoin. I think we're going up for a while. Yeah, this is not the top.
Love to hear that. I kind of feel like we already should be past a million, but we're just not. Like we haven't caught up to that. But like if everyone knew what this thing was, we'd be there today. It feels like it's like so boring, which is super bullish, right? Like it's boring at 115, 117K. It's even boring at 124, you know? I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
not, there's no euphoria. It's fun to like meme it and stuff and shit post about it and try and like get some excitement. But it's like I feel pretty much dead inside with moves like that. I don't think we start to get excited again and feel something until maybe like 200K.
You're dead inside?
Yeah, dead inside, no emotions.
Dude,
I just want to feel
dude.
something. I'll take
Sorry, that,
a big dump at this point just to feel something, Like
oh man. Yeah, goodness. I think you're right though. I mean, what would excite me? I don't know. I think the farther it escapes like the regular guy, the more not scared, but the more like I feel like, man, my friends really missed their opportunity. So I feel bad when it goes up. I mean, it's fun because it validates everything that I've been saying to my family
yeah.
for the last 4 years. But at the same time, it's like, man, the window is closing so fast. And it takes like years if you're going to use your average man's salary to stack a Bitcoin. Like it takes years to stack one. If it goes up to 200, goodness, it might be great if you have Bitcoin, but if you don't, and it's even more desperate.
Yeah, I think that's the blessing of lower prices. I wish that we could get more retail in. I feel like for a lot of people, it just feels a bit unattainable at this point, but at least give us a longer runway for them to wake up to it when it's still, sub 200.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is like I think what the opportunity that you're missing is to be a whole coiner, right? You're
Yeah.
not missing the opportunity of upgrading your money. Like that's always on the table. Like you can always change, well, maybe not always, but at least for a long time, you're going to be able to give somebody this currency that somebody can print for free, and
Hmm.
you're going to be able to exchange that for something that nobody can print for free
Hmm.
for a very, very long time. And so at any point in the next, you know, foreseeable future, you will be able to upgrade to a better money. And that's, I think, what's really important. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to get out of our minds that our friends and our family that haven't started stacking yet, most of them are never going to see, one whole Bitcoin.
Hmm.
Um, and that's just number bias. So we're just gonna have to work on that. But that's just part of it. Like, it's being a whole coiner is now, like you that's how we have viewed like being a millionaire, some kind of a status of a unit. And we've got that unit bias, like, oh, now that person's doing really well because they're quote unquote a millionaire. And by the way, I just saw a statistic yesterday saying that one out of every six households in the United States has a net worth of or has at least $1 million in net worth.
1 in 6.
Houses.
One in six in the United States.
I mean, that seems like a lot of people, but that's got
Yeah.
to be houses. That's house prices.
Including
Yeah.
the equity of
I'm
that.
sure it includes their equity in their home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Adam. The other day I was on Twitter and I saw a guy
The, the other
who
day.
what was it?
You mean, go ahead. It just sounded like you hadn't been on Twitter,
Oh, all the time. Yeah,
except for a
the other
week
day,
ago.
and then
The
every
other day.
every minute in between then and now,
That was my point.
and for eternity. No, I saw, talking about being a whole corner as a status symbol. I saw this really cool shirt. This guy was at the airport and he was wearing a shirt that said, "You're looking at a whole corner," and I thought, man, that's really good OPSEC, because you definitely want to advertise to everyone that you're a whole coiner. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, man. Like, pretty cool stuff, huh?
You wait, you really saw a guy at the airport wearing a shirt that said, or you saw a picture of a guy?
I saw a picture of a guy at an airport. I think his handle might be Ruben Hoddle. He's
Oh
like,
man, I
he's a
gotta look this
boomer.
up.
He's a boomer.
Oh well, dude, boomers don't care. Of course, a boomer's gonna brag. They don't care.
And
Old man
yesterday,
strength.
it was like weeks ago or something, but I always think about that. I'm like, that's just like the worst thing you can do.
I
Because
think it's the era of the half coiner. Like we need to unit bias is a real thing, but I feel like half a coin. I mean, point one. People talk about getting to point one. It's easy to understand, but
yeah.
I don't think that's going to be enough.
For how long?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I just think that if you can get to point one with, you know, 12 grand today, it's not going to be enough 10 years from now.
10 years? No, maybe 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah. 30 years.
Around, yeah.
But yeah, I think half a Bitcoin, that should be like the target,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
half coiner.
Yeah, you guys are bears, man.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Come on, give us dystopian, Adam.
I think point one's enough. I do.
Good. Okay, tell us more.
What age and when do you retire?
I think if you can save point one Bitcoin for 10 years, no matter what age you are, because the older you are, the less time you
Right.
need to have to use it. But so no matter what age you are, if you can save point one Bitcoin for 10 years, I think in 10 years, no matter what age you are, if you've got point one Bitcoin, I think you'll be able to retire.
I love to hear that.
Live a
2035.
normal, like, middle class style life, raise a family. Yeah, I think point one is probably enough 10 years from now.
I
So
love
if you're 25, you get point one, 35, you can live the rest of your life doing whatever you want
Yes.
with point one.
Yeah.
Huh?
Modestly.
Okay, modestly. So you got to spend some of your stack to live modestly.
Yeah, because I think 10 years from now, I think current purchasing price value, I don't think it would be crazy for one Bitcoin to be worth multiple millions of dollars. I say 5 years from, or not, sorry, 10 years from now, $5 million per Bitcoin, I don't think is crazy.
it. Oh wow.
Okay,
Um,
so you're living on 500 grand
yes, but
10
keep in
years from now.
mind,
It's going to go up.
you've got a 30, maybe 40% CAGR
Yeah.
growth. And so, yeah, it's not like you're living on just 500K for the rest of your life because that 500K turns
Right.
into 600K, 700K. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be enough to beat inflation. It'll be enough to live on. It's just a matter of how long you can hold it without needing to spend it. So, if you can just basically work for 10 years to achieve zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, and let's say even if it takes you 10 years to get to zero point 0.1, retire. I think you'll be able to retire in 10 years with zero point 0.1 Bitcoin.
I love
You
it.
think they're going to remove cap gains on Bitcoin because Bitcoin's money, not property?
I know they will. I don't know if it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, but eventually everyone's going to have to, everyone's going to be competing to be the best place to be a Bitcoiner.
Mm.
Whether you're in the United States or anywhere else, in order to get elected, you're going to have to end up, appealing to Bitcoiners. We already saw that in this last election. I never thought we would be here this soon, but we had politicians fighting over the Bitcoiners, and
Sort of.
I'll
that's
get
that's
Yeah.
not going to stop.
Yeah. On one side of the aisle, you had them fighting.
I mean, there are some on the other side. I mean, you had the RFK crowd, which is like the
Right.
libertarian kind of. He was with the Libertarian Party at the time, and then there was maybe one or two Democratic senators that were petitioning for Bitcoin, legislation over the last 24 months. I think that's going to change. I think they're going to have to. They realize like we lost the election. What can we do to get an edge? Bitcoin's the easy solution. I mean, if you're against Bitcoin, you're just against humans. And so it's not a partisan issue. Like it's really easy to just say, "Hey, I'm for Bitcoin." I mean, honestly, it's kind of seeming to look like that's what the Trump administration did. We kind of got bait and switched a little bit. Do you guys
Oh
agree?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a
all
little bit.
crypto all the time with Trump,
Yeah.
you know. That's the part that I find to be extremely frustrating is the crypto messages. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't want to hear about crypto scams. I don't want to hear about your tokens. I don't want to hear about stable coins.
Yeah.
Bitcoin
Second.
only.
Oh yeah. No, that's all just noise. I just to expect that there's going to be grifters and hangers on, and I don't know. It'll all eventually. People touch the stove and it'll go away, I think. But I'm really excited, like just you talking about this, Adam, like the second order effects of Bitcoin skyrocketing in price, and then all of a sudden, all the wealthiest people in the world are Bitcoiners, and the second order effects of the influence that they're going to have on the world and the positive that will come from that. It's not just that you have a fair monetary standard and fair money. It's that the people that are the wealthiest in the world are are those types of ethical Bitcoiners that will use that sway to actually make a difference.
Yeah, I don't think any of the political games are going to ever, well, at least I don't know, in the foreseeable future, I don't think they're going to stop. They're just going to they're going to change, and the way that they're going to change is the people. Like you mentioned, Bitcoiners are already one of the most powerful classes of people in the world. With Bitcoin being a $2+ trillion asset, some of the richest people in the world are Bitcoiners.
Mhm.
And politicians are going to have to politic. They're gonna have to appeal to those people. They're not gonna stop needing people's funds and donations and to fund their campaigns and lobbyist groups, all this nasty stuff that we don't like talking about. Like it's gonna correlate with Bitcoin at some point if it's not already. So, and I think honestly a good example of that is maybe what we saw yesterday. And I don't want to conflate anything here because these may not necessarily be related, but I saw, and this could have just been a coincidence, but Gemini launched a new custodial wallet
Hmm.
on the Google Play Store yesterday.
Hmm.
Mm.
And they've got a lot of momentum. They've got
Mhm.
a lot of money behind them, and so it's just
So
something to think
maybe,
about.
yeah, maybe you got caught up in the crossfire.
The bullish uh exchange, Peter Thiel's exchange just went
Yeah.
public.
Hmm.
The fuck are they? Like, I,
Look out, dude. Everybody's going to be using these cryptos before we know it.
yeah, I don't know. I would
Fortunately.
never want to use that exchange if it's Peter Thiel's. I don't
I
trust
mean,
that guy for
he's
one
got your
second.
he's got your vice president,
I don't trust him.
Palantir.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's clearly CIA. Yeah.
I'm afraid to say anything.
Yeah,
I don't want to
they're
talk anymore.
listening in.
Let's end the episode right
It's
now.
too late. Bill already
Hold on,
triggered
there's
the
somebody outside.
Yeah, the
I
feds
see
are
someone
coming.
outside my door. I'll talk to you guys later.
Fuck you, Peter Thiel.
Oh man. Yeah, we're in over our head at this point. I feel like buy the sats as often as you can and just, wait it out. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, man, we need to. Gosh, there's so many, like, not to be any like doom and gloom to this conversation, but just like this transhumanistic movement, and they're going to want to like implant chips and try and roll out CBDCs and everything, and it's like it's spiritual warfare. I feel like Bitcoin just represents this countervailing force to this evil, demonic movement that like the Peter Thiels, I'll call him PT so I don't flag anything in the CIA. So
Too late.
the PTs of the world are trying to bring in. So I don't know. I feel like every time we buy a Bitcoin and it's taken into self custody, it's like kind of a vote for the future that you want.
Hmm.
That second part's crucial. You have to take self-custody.
Yep.
And it's important for us, to make sure we continue to educate people about what Bitcoin is and what it's not. Because when you buy a Bitcoin IOU, a lot of people are, I talk to people in my everyday life, friends and family, and I recently had somebody come up to me and they're like, "Yeah, I just bought Bitcoin." Well, that wasn't really Bitcoin,
Yeah.
but they think it is. And it
Yeah.
doesn't come with any of the properties that actually make Bitcoin useful in the ways that we all talk about.
Yeah.
I
And
think
can you imagine you're trying to withdraw it from the exchange where you purchase it and they don't want you to do it? I mean,
That's
that's
happening right now
yeah,
with my mom. My
happens all the
mom's been
time.
trying to get her Bitcoin off of Coinbase for like
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
shit.
Yeah, they're like, come back in 30 days.
Yeah, and I've been helping her.
Over and
And
over.
so I don't know. I like to think I know a little bit about Bitcoin. I've been playing with it for a little while, but I can't even get it to work for her.
Wow.
It's yeah, they won't let her withdraw her coins from the exchange. It's pretty messed up.
This guy
Mm.
texted me the other day. He's from Coinbase support, and he said that he can help if you want someone to help.
I saw where that was going.
Dude,
Oh,
these
they're very
scammers are getting
helpful.
pretty crazy too, you know? It's you gotta watch out. I mean, just like it's wild. I get like text messages and calls like all it's I don't know who leaked my information, uh, but someone fucking did.
This is
Everybody,
Coinbase, dude.
yeah, everybody's information's everywhere. I mean, that's, in my opinion, one of the biggest problems, especially in the Bitcoin industry, is all this KYC stuff
Oh,
because
Oh
every
yeah.
single exchange, no matter how good they are at security, they have to take your info and hold it on a server somewhere that may or may not be up to par for the security standards. And then that information gets leaked and it gets on the dark web. And next thing you know is you've got Coinbase employees contacting you to help you recover your account.
Oh boy, it's such a demoralizing process to go through. Like, you know, even I mean, River is an amazing platform and exchange, but like the KYC platform, and it felt just demoralizing. Like giving all my information. I think I had to do like a selfie or something. Like,
Oh yeah, it's like being at the TSA.
oh, I fucking hate it. You know, and I mean, River, those guys are good Bitcoiners. You know, Leishman's a good Bitcoiner, but it's yeah, it sucks. KYC is definitely an attack on Bitcoin.
I think the best way to get some non-KYC Bitcoin is to mine it. Mine it at home.
Yeah,
Second option,
earn it.
create an account on Primal, create some great memes that people zap.
We can fix this. People don't realize it, but we can repeal the Bank Secrecy Act with the same
Yeah.
legislation that put it in place.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
If you don't like this, tell your senator, contact your representative, let them know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good advice too.
that's
Mhm.
good. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like people are focused on what they're going to watch next on Netflix or something. You know, it's hard to get a lot of people to wake up, but
You just got to get enough people to start talking.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, dudes.
Cool. Adam,
Good
any
pod.
final thoughts, closing thoughts? I'll plug you.
Back stats.
Yeah, hell
What's
yeah.
that?
I'll plug you too. So Adam on X is Adam Simecka, AdamSimecka on X. So make sure you follow him. You might get a follower or two because
You just KYC'd him on our show.
but
Yep.
you want to get
Yep.
you
I
want to
just
get a
you just
follower.
totally doxed me, man.
Now
You talk.
now PT is gonna follow you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm a little bit past that point. I use my face and my name, and uh, yeah, I'm definitely the first person they're coming after.
We just say stay strapped, you know.
Grab, stay
You'll be good.
frosty for sure.
Mhm.
Don't worry, I do.
My man. All right,
Yep.
dude, this was a great
Way to do it.
conversation. We're gonna get you back on like a regular basis if you're down for it. I thought this was really fun.
Yeah, I love you guys. I watch you guys all the time. In fact, this is one of the only shows that I try to catch every episode of. It's just,
Oh,
Are you serious?
yeah, it's on the top of my list, man. I'm
oh,
Heck yeah.
subscribed. I got the little bell. I watch every one.
yes. Oh
Man,
man, that's
we
a
appreciate that.
big time.
That is awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I think everybody should, by the way. This is a great show.
Thank you, dude. Much
You're
appreciated.
Well,
welcome.
we appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right. Well, that's all for today. And remember, send us some voice memos. We will listen to them live next week. Send them over.